Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talking Trim. I'm Jonathan Skinner and today we are looking at the soft top convertible hood as well as the hood frame cover, or top boot cover as the Americans call it, for the Triumph TR6 range. So this is a light overview of some of the weather equipment items that you may wish to consider for your restoration. So obviously we've got the soft top convertible hood, and then at the back here we've got what we refer to as the hood frame cover. Americans refer to it as top boot cover, I believe. So they're the sort of two main items. Obviously, when the hood and its frame are folded down at the back of the car, that is the cover that covers it at the back of the car. We can also obviously supply a tonneau cover, which is the cover that goes over the top of the cabin of the car and has a zip down the middle of it to allow the driver to be driving along whilst the rest of the car is covered, and then you can zip it up when you're parked so that it doesn't get any sort of rainwater or unwanted hands and eyes into the car, shall we say. So we can also offer that. Please do see the other videos related to that particular part. So this is just covering the soft top convertible and the hood frame cover. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to start referring to this as the hood, as us Brits do, and I'm just going to refer to this as the hood frame cover. Now what we've got here is we've got a selection of different colours and materials, which I'll go over. So at the front there, we've got black PVC Everflex. So that is in line with what originally left the factory for most cars. The red one here is red mohair canvas. So that's Deluxe Mohair Canvas, DMC, which is seen as the sort of creme de la creme of hooding. Some cars may have left as a special order with mohair, but generally speaking, it's seen as a bit of an upgrade. Then at the back here, the hood frame covers, we've got, again, a mohair version here. Then we've actually got a leather hood frame cover here as well. And I'll go over the ins and outs of all the materials in a second. Just to clarify, so we know we're talking about the exact same part here. Obviously, I'm sure we're all familiar with the soft tops. That's a side view of the side window of it. It's effectively, obviously, the soft top hood here. That's actually a TR4. But the principle of where it goes is exactly the same, obviously. And then this is what I'm referring to here. This is the hood frame cover, as we refer to it, as a top boot cover. So it goes around the back of the car, and when the soft top hood is folded down, it covers up all the hood frame underneath. Now, when it comes to the actual hoods themselves, and this also applies to the tonneaus, they have to be made in a hooding material. So either PVC Everflex or Deluxe Mohair Canvas. Both are available in a decent range of colours, but nowhere near the sort of levels of shades that you can get with vinyls and leathers and things like that. So do keep that in mind. Often, what we refer to as PVC hooding is referred rather confusingly as vinyl. I guess it is a vinyl. It's a plastic material after all. But vinyl was what obviously was used on the interior of the car. And so sometimes people assume that you can literally make that part out the same. You can't. PVC hooding, it's obviously a plastic, so it is effectively a similar sort of vinyl, but it's got a waterproof membrane in it. So one, it makes the material much more rigid, which you need for the sort of sturdiness of the fit and whatnot. But then two, obviously it's got the waterproof membrane because it's exposed to the elements of both, obviously the rainwater, and also, you know, it's good robust for sunshine, etc. So just bear that in mind. It is literally a completely different material to vinyl. We refer to it generically as PVC hooding. When people refer to it as Everflex, Everflex is actually a brand name. It's the ICI brand name that was originally used. Our PVC hooding happens to be Everflex, just FYI. Mohair Canvas is a completely different material. It's a canvas material. So let me just actually, sorry. So that's you can see, sorry, this is the PVC hooding. So it's got the sort of same grain finish on it as the sort of vinyls and leathers in the car. The backing, normally grey, some colours have different colour backings on it, but see our website for details on that. Whereas Mohair Canvas is literally a canvas material. Again, obviously has a waterproof membrane in it, but completely different material. Both have pros and cons, but generally speaking, mohair is seen as the creme de la creme of hooding. So just keep that in mind. So they're available in either hoodings, PVC or mohair canvas. The hood frame cover we can offer in vinyl, as in actual vinyl, so the vinyl that we'd use for your main interior trim, or PVC Everflex, mohair canvas, as per this one obviously, or leather. Now the idea with this is, originally from the factory, it would have left in the same material as the soft top, so almost certainly the PVC Everflex. But generally speaking, the majority of kits that we supply to people after people talk to me about it is they want to match it up to the main interior because it's only ever seen at the same time as the main interior. So it's nice to tie it in. So a lot of people just go with vinyl. So say you're having a biscuit interior trim, you know, seats and trim panels in vinyl, then we can make this in biscuit vinyl, and therefore it's all exactly the same and matching. And obviously if you look where it sits in the car, it's right next to the seats, right next to the rear bulkhead and quarter panels and wheel arch covers. So it makes logical sense to make it in the same material and colour as the main trim, but completely up to you. We'll make it however you want, but that's my 2 cents. It doesn't need to be as robust as these items here because it doesn't need to keep its form nearly as much as say a hood or a tonneau kit, because effectively it's got the framework underneath it. Obviously it does have sort of double reinforced elements underneath it anyway, which I'll show you in a second. So it is robust, but it doesn't need to have that rigidity that say the tonneau and the hood require anyway. So they're your kind of options when it comes to hood frame covers, is effectively vinyl, PVC hooding, mohair hooding, or leather. And what we've got here is a selection of the mohair hooding and then leather. Leather looks absolutely gorgeous on these things, and this gentleman here is going for a full leather interior kit from us. So all of his seats are leather, all his trim panels are leather, all of his dash is leather. In fact, you can see a lot of his dash area on one of our other YouTube videos that I've done. There is a gentleman over in America that's kind of sent us his car in bits for us to trim up as much as we can. So yeah, it really does look nice when you do the hood frame covers in leather there. So just bear that in mind. Now going to the actual hood itself, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I actually have already done a video showing the TR6 hood on its own, which I go to a lot of detail in. So I'm going to sort of breeze over. I'm going to give you the majority of the details, but there might be certain things that I miss out. So obviously it's a sewn hood ready to be fitted. It has binding going all the way around it, apart from on this front edge here. You can see here we do a rough white Chinograph mark on there, and that's obviously where it is used to wrap around the header rail section there. So a lot of that element is lost. Obviously veers out because the windscreen frame veers out on the TR6s. Obviously then bound around the edge of it, the rest of it. These side bits here have side channel gutters which directs the water, so the water obviously lands on the soft top and then goes down obviously the curve of it and goes into these channels, and I will run off the front or the back, so it tries to keep it away from the windows. You've obviously got to bear in mind with these things that they are effectively 1960s 1970s engineering and design. So the concept's there, but perhaps the effectiveness is not quite what we're used to with modern day things, so do keep that in mind. But it does have those channels there. Then it has these sort of B-post channels here that goes around the side of the glass of the side windows on the doors, etc. Then obviously at the back here you have the 3 windows set up. They are HFRF welded in the windows, but only on PVC. Mohair you have to sew them in because of the way the material is. The main rear window at the back here is actually zipped in on the TR6. You can see there. I'll show you on the mohair one in a second. We'll get down to it. But yeah, it's got the zip. So that zips apart from on the bottom edge, and it folds down to basically allow a nice bit of airflow and a bit of air while you're driving along in the car there. So that was original for the TR6s. The actual soft top itself is exactly the same for the TR5 and 250 as this TR6. The only difference being that those TR5 and 250 models didn't have a zip in the rear window. But effectively after that, the design of them is exactly the same. It's worth noting that for a decent amount of the TR hoods, we can put zips in them. So if you are after that, let us know. There is a surcharge involved, and not all of them have patterns these days for zips, but I'm fairly sure the majority of them do. So do let us know. We can do it if you want. There is a surcharge, but as standard, the TR6 comes with a zip in it in the middle there. What else have we got on the soft top? Obviously the window there zips out. Oh yes, this bottom edge here, there's a retaining metal bar that goes around the sort of back end rear deck, sort of round here, and that material there is to allow you to wrap it round there during the fitment. And then the only obvious items, if we look on the underside, the side channels here have Velcro on them. On the hood frame metalwork of the car on the TR5s and TR6s. They had like a U-shaped channel that had some Velcro on it, so that's for attaching it to there. And then in the center on one of the hood bows, you had this bit that loops around. So you loop it around there, and sorry, hard to do one-handed. Yeah, well, you get the principle. Wraps around the hood bar and goes in. So that's how you kind of fit it on the hood bar there. But again, please do refer to my other video, which will all be linked at the end of this one, as I do go into a lot more detail with those sorts of things. But that's the basic overview of that section there. Now, obviously, as standard, we do include the female fixings as part of the kit. You basically get the male and female elements of the hood studs. Those elements there are standardized. These bits here, the actual studs that go through the material on the top, either chrome or black, depending on the era of the car, so just bear that in mind. Obviously, we asked the question during the order process, just thought I'd show both on there. But they are supplied loose. A lot of people do ask, why don't people pre-install them into the hoods? Very dangerous game. The idea is that you need to fit it accurately to your car. It needs to have the correct amount of tension in between fixings to get it to fit to your car, especially working around this back section here up until the side window here. I'm not going to go into too much detail on it, but please do ask advice if you're unsure. We've seen some absolute horror stories over the years with even professional trimmers that think that they can just start putting fixings in wherever, then they say that the hood isn't fitting in a certain area, and you can almost always see the root cause being the fact that they haven't applied the correct amount of tension and checked things as they go round. Even the element of installing the studs in the exact same place as the old hood that's coming off the car, that doesn't work, that principle, or unlikely to work. You need to literally treat the hood completely separately and independently and match it up to the car and get it to fit to your car independently. So bear that in mind. More than happy to help on these things, but that is a very, very common pitfall in these fitment processes here. So you can see here, obviously these are the fixings, these are the black ones here. So they kind of went around the circumference of the car there at the back mainly. So yeah, bear that in mind. Showing you the mohair version. Obviously the sewing of it is exactly the same. The only major difference is the windows are stitched in as opposed to HFRF welded in. I've actually on this one loosened the zip there, so you can see, yeah, there's a zip out window there. So that's the principle of it there. It's obviously got the Vibat plastic windows in them there, but apart from that, the concept on the mohair and the PVC Everflex ones are identical. Now it's worth noting as well, TR6 hoods, some of them for the North American market, they had this reflective strip on them. We do not supply that. I don't think anyone supplies that. We just do them as standard. Just bear that in mind. Not all of the cars have them, but some did. But like I say, we don't offer that, and I don't think anyone does. So that's effectively the soft top convertible hood. Now onto the hood bag, hood frame cover, top boot cover, whatever you want to call it. So obviously this is the item here. Covers up the soft top and the hood frame when it's all folded down at the back of the car. Mohair here in a camel colour, as we call it, and this is bright red leather, which matches the customer's interior there. Just FYI, obviously that's black PVC, this is red mohair. Not sure if I referenced the colour on there. Now the concept on these, very much the same, and again I have done other videos, so please do check those out. But yeah, it's all sewn, all edged all the way round. It has these tabs on them for fixing down into place. These are elasticated. Some of them are just normal tabs. The other ones are elasticated for attaching onto the wrapping round and attaching onto the sort of rear bulkhead section there. It's got top stitching and piping where applicable. The underside here, you can see, depending on what material we're using, we reinforce it in different ways, but essentially the majority of the outside of it is doubled up reinforced to give it its sort of shape, rigidity, and also allow for the relevant fixings to be put through correctly. So you can see on the underside there how it's done. Obviously the elasticated ones at the front there are then the non-elasticated ones on the very sides. Again, the way the sort of seams and whatnot are done is designed to let sort of water drip down and flow off, but hopefully you're not getting water on that, because otherwise the rest of your car is getting wet as well. So yeah, that's effectively the top boot hood frame cover. See there. And then I think the only other thing to note on the top boot hood frame cover is that there were actually two versions. This is by far and away the most common version right here, but they also did one that incorporated an element for a hard top, which was slightly longer and deeper. Now, we definitely have a pattern somewhere. We've probably done two of them in about 20 years, so they're not big movers, but I'm sure we've got a pattern somewhere. So do let us know if you've got that one. I would have to dig it out. Yeah, we've got a massive archive of paper patterns and whatnot, so not the easiest to find, and we haven't had the demand for it, so we've never CNC CAD'd it up for it all like we do all the other pieces. But it's worth noting that there are two designs basically, but I say 99% of the cars probably left with the style here, and not many of them had the element for the hard top, which were slightly deeper and longer, so do bear that in mind. Apart from that, I think that covers our bases. So thank you for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with other classic car enthusiasts. Of course, check out the other videos at the end of this one, and please do get in contact for anything related to your TR6 restoration. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.